Hey, my soul family, we're back. We're gonna do this again. I took a little breather between, today and the last reading, what, like 2 weeks ago or something, to just kind of integrate all that big energy that it was like a flood lamp. And so, yeah, I'm curious to see how everybody's doing out there. It's an interesting feeling that I'm starting to incubate this like inner strength, this real strong, like unfuckwithable inner strength. But then also it's really soft and really tender. And I feel that for me anyway, I feel really strong one moment and then the wind just topples me over the next. And you know, so I've just kind of like Ah, but so goes the act of remembering. Yeah, we're so multi-dimensional. And so, yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to let things percolate and sit and unpack a little bit more because so much came through in just the past, like that Pleiadian energy that I had been so excited about. And I definitely feel like a lot, it's like a zip file, where it's like it comes in, plants a little seed, and then for weeks, months, even years, the information that comes out is like this exponentially expanding thing. So sometimes you just have to sit with it all and allow it to just be there without understanding what it is yet. So that's kind of where I've been, this place of not fully knowing what that was. I don't know if I'm making sense. I hope I'm making sense. So one of the things that came through real strong was that this lifetime that all of us are kind of on earth experiencing for some time now, like I don't know how many years. It's hard to say. I'm sure astrology would probably say, but I haven't done the research on this. But that this current wave of humanity is really special, like really different from all the other times before. And how is it special? Well, that's kind of what has been coming through. And how it's special is that in this lifetime, this is the one where you actually have access to all of your past lives and you have access to your future, like all the different infinite future possibilities that we're in this kind of prism lifetime. And like that was not available to our past lifetimes. And I don't know how far back, but what's been coming through for me is this knowing that this particular lifetime is unlike any other one that we've ever had. So maybe I'm going out there for some of you, but I hope that you guys can follow because to put it in a different way, let's flash to like some lifetime that you had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years ago. That lifetime was the the only one. That was the one that you experienced. That was the one that you lived and dealt with. And it was kind of in a way simpler. It was much more simple, less less information coming through. You just lived that one. And what happened, happened. And you learned things and you grew from them. And then you went on to the next one. This one, though, is so different because this is the one where we're putting all of our old pieces together. And that I think is what's been coming through. It came through in that Isis reading where she was helping us remember our parts. And that's what's going on is we're remembering our parts, but this is the first lifetime we've had that we have access to the Akashic records in that way. And even if you're not conscious of having access to the Akashic records, you do. You do. You have, and at this point, you can choose to use it consciously. You can actually meditate and sit with your Akashic record and find out what's there for you. This is available to all humans on the planet. Like, this is not something that, if anybody tells you that that's something special and only a few people can do, that's complete BS. Everyone has access to all of their past lives, future lives, the Akashic record, your soul self, higher self, your multidimensional selves, your master self, all of that. Every single human being on the planet right now has access to that. So it's not special. However, what is special is actually putting that information to use, not just letting it fly by without grabbing onto it for a second and looking at it and trying to understand what's there for you, because there's so much for us to learn right now. And I think that's why we have all of these people that are past life regressionists and all these people jumping on reading their cards and all these people that are having crazy experiences of their past lives of different like you know astral visions and things like crazy experiences that weren't really like in historical records. We don't see quite so much of that. I do believe that through history there have been few people that are documented to have had such things and have had access to these things, and I think those people were the ones that were the big thinkers of the day, or the philosophers, or the ones that foretold the time that we're living in. So, but now it's not just like a few select, very small number of people, it's everybody. So that's what makes this lifetime so huge and so hard and so freaking weird, because every single one of us is negotiating and constantly integrating all of this all the time. And so that's why I think we see people struggling a lot. And when we see that struggle, they're trying to understand when it's something that is so big it's hard to. So yeah, and here I am also trying to understand it. And it's kind of like, well, that's why I have to just go with the flow, because I don't. I don't. And maybe someday I will, you will. And if you find out, then it would be great if you could also put it out there, put your stories out there so that others can know that they're not crazy and they are integrating whatever it is that they have to. So that's what's been going on the past 2 weeks in a nutshell. So let's just dive in. Let's actually I'm gonna pull out these cards. These cards I used to have them they're long story, but anyway, these little cards, they're very childlike and I appreciate them. I think they are actually meant for children, but I appreciate these kinds of cards because it just taps into that piece of us that is a daydreamer, a wanderer, not too fixated on what needs to happen. So we're not really going to pull in any special things aside from the most special thing is you, your higher self, and the wisdom that needs to be here for you today. So let's just go ahead and see what's coming out. If anything, let's see this one. Okay, interesting. All right. The vulture came out and take a look at this little card. This is a vulture and it says gourmet. Gourmet. Take on the day with real devotion. Be a chef. Use your passion well. Feel all of the art and expression you have in you. Hmm. Oh my goodness. I'm hearing the word joyful feast. That Vulture is coming in. Oh, and I love Vulture. I actually work with Vulture a lot. And Vulture, I feel like vultures sometimes get a bad rap for, they are drawn to things that have passed. And what they come and do is they make their big circles. Those are actually them flying higher and higher in these warm thermal pockets, these warm areas of the sky. And they catch that and they can soar even higher. So they're using the warmth of the sun to soar higher, to get a bigger, higher vantage point. And from that vantage point, they can begin to see the land where they live. And from there, they can actually start to see where it is to go for their next delicious meal. Their next delicious meal might not be something that is all that tasty for us, but for them, it is absolutely scrumptious. And so, Vulture, I feel, is coming in with these warm solar wings. And just think of like that, almost like a warm hug, for a better word. I can't find one. Like a warm hug, but coming in with these warm wings, but scooping away the things that you don't find that tasty, but it does. And so vulture actually is, and I love what it actually says. Use your passion well. Feel all of the art and expression you have in you. I love that. All of the art and expression that you have in you. So what art have you put away for a little while that maybe you were so down on the ground, so close on the ground that you got a little stuck, and perhaps there's a higher vantage point now that you have access to if you go and revisit it. It could be a piece of writing or whatever your the way of expression is for you. Perhaps it's making TikTok videos. I don't know. But whoever you are out there, if you're here on this small little channel, then you are a masterful expressionist. And what comes out of you is your passion, your joy, your beauty. And so go look for whatever it is that you have put on the back burner for a little while. Perhaps you've been too busy or you forgot. But time to pull it out again. Because I think you have access to something a little deeper now. Whatever made you put it away is gone. So, yeah, you have access to some greater expression there. And let's say that you don't actually have any project that you have put away or neglected or forgot about. Then this would be an invitation to actually pick one up and to see what is it that you are ready to create. So, and I think it's interesting that these two little cactuses kind of, to me, they look like forks. And so he's like wearing this. I mean, I pull these cards because they're just silly and they're cute and I don't know, they're different. But here he is with cactus forks. Cactus forks. And again, cactus is that solar energy. And if you think of, how tall a cactus is and it's so deep in alignment and bringing wisdom and joy to such a parched landscape as the desert. So this is something that is a parched part of yourself that's ready to be. It already is brand new. You just have to go and look at it again. So even if it's perhaps like, oh, I'm not that creative, revisit that part of yourself because I think there's something brand new there. Brand new. So let's go ahead and see. I'm going to pull from the ancestors and oracles. Let's see. Oh, who would like to jump out at us? Oh, okay. The arrow. Surround yourself with protective energy. And so I would say, actually take the opportunity to do that right now. Surrounding yourself with protective energy. And protective energy is the energy of all is well. Because when you are protected, you are safe and all is well. You are okay when you are protected. And when all is well, you know that you're in the presence of unconditional love. So surround yourself right now, surround yourself in unconditional love that you are safe and you are protected, that your voice and your art, your passion, your excitement to create something is divinely protected. And it really is your source of direction. That excitement that you feel. Look how it's like it's pointing up the mountaintop. That excitement that you feel is your compass needle showing you which way to go, even when the way forwards is cloudy and does not seem clear or sometimes feels too hard. Look into those places that are joyful. So, I like that, but I want another card. Okay, so we have wrapped ourselves in protective energy. And this protective energy, if you think of an arrow, the components of an arrow, obsidian usually, and then this long, the stick. I don't know what the what is it called? The stick of the arrow, the shaft of the arrow. Okay, so that is usually made of wood, and I'm talking about, not so much current today arrows, because those are usually made out of some kind of synthetic materials. So I'm talking about traditional, the arrows of our ancestors, obsidian or some very sharp piece of stone, a tree, and feathers. And those three things, stone, tree, and feather, that's the earth, the deepest part of earth. The tree is the bridge that links earth and air. And those feathers are spirit, flying, flying with direction, with purpose, grounded in wisdom. And then that tree, gosh, trees are so wise. Trees have been around forever. And they hold a frequency of the elder. And they hold the wisdom of all of their ancestors. They don't forget. Trees do not forget. They just are. They just are that frequency of earth and sky. And that's why they are such good helpers for us when we get lost. So going out in nature helps us remember who we are, because we're surrounded in elders that remember who they are. And it doesn't mean that you are a tree. A tree will not help you remember how to be a human, but it will teach you how to be a tree. And when you learn to be a tree, then you remember how strong you are as a human. And that's a weird thing to say, but I think I'm just going to speak in riddles with that one, because I think you understand. Wow. So this is a big one. This is an interesting one for me. Here we go. Great teacher. Learn from spiritual experiences. And this man is he's very Yeshua like, with the dove. Although I would probably paint a picture of Yeshua that is a bit more, probably, I don't know, I'll just leave that. But great teacher. Who is a great teacher to you? And who have your great teachers been? And gather them up. Actually, maybe even make a list of the teachers that you consider to be great. Even if these are childhood teachers, like like for me, I have such fondness for my fifth grade elementary teacher, Mr. T. And Mr. T, he allowed us such expression to do what we wanted to do as kids in the classroom. He actually let us, encouraged us. There was this one day we were learning about cities and how cities were made and built and all this. And we turned our entire classroom into a city using cardboard boxes. And each of us lived in little houses. And we were encouraged to decorate the inside of our cardboard fort. Like, it was a literal cardboard fort in the classroom. And it was so much fun. And probably, I don't know exactly what I learned, but I loved going to school because of him. And that is one of my great teachers, and have had several others along the way, some in body and some non-physical. And all of these teachers have really helped me come to this point here. And so who are your great teachers? Who are the ones, the wings, those feathers on the arrow, on your arrow, who do they belong to? Who are your totem birds? I personally love the egret, and I feel like an actual relaxation when I see egrets fly. And there's a certain something that happens inside when I see a hawk fly by, different for every bird that I encounter. So what birds, what teachers have guided you to this point right now? And look at how gentle that is. This soft focus on this bird and how, you can see that the bird has just taken off from his open hand. So that bird felt safe enough to actually take off and rest, to rest on this teacher. So I'm also just hearing that it's these teachers have they've built a foundation, a structural, look at this flower of life behind. It's a structural foundation in spirit of protection. You're divinely protected by the teacher's scaffolding, that the ones that lived in body, the teachers who were human and physical, they built an energetic framework for you to stand on, for you to continue growing from. It is your literal physical launch pad. You can take off. And then this in turn is what you are doing for others, is that the more you actually trust and lean into this framework, the more this is actually completely reciprocal. And then at some point, you will also be the one to hold the bird and watch it fly. Because the great teachers always teach us that we are teachers as well. And that you are your own guru, you are your own masterful expert, because nobody else is inside your brain, your heart, your body to tell you exactly what to do. You know what to do. And so asking, oh, this is big. Asking that part of yourself that already has the answer to continue to show you the way. And this is something, I have worked with every single day now for a while, of asking, or not asking, but just sitting with the frequency of my future self and listening. And it's not always easy to hear the answer because we're so distracted all the time. And so really carving out that space so that you can listen. And again, I'm seeing this arrow going through. Listening. Yeah. Hmm. I love that that came through. That energy is so clean and pure. I feel like this reading is something very sweet. So let's go ahead and let's get a little bit more information from this great teacher. And I think for each of us, it will be something different. Courage, 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 courage. That scaffolding knowing that you are protected. It says again, surround yourself with protective energy. Because when you feel like you are protected, when you feel safe, that courage is not some, you don't have to think about courage. It just is there. It just exists. And that courage actually would probably be more like confidence. It's that confidence because see how that little flame is burning so bright within this rainbow? It's just free. It's just there. It just is. And so I feel like that is sparked within this circle of protection that we have with the arrow. And I feel like arrow is also a physical embodiment of the fire element because it is transformative. Earth, the bridge, the tree, and spirit, the feather. It's an alchemical transformation as and fire is as well. Alchemical transformation. So we are divinely protected while we are going through this alchemical transformation. And that vulture, as comical and silly as this particular picture is of the vulture, is actually one of our divine helpers in this, is one of the great teachers to help us through, to help us actually feel unburdened so that we can fly. Allow that vulture to actually come in and clean things up, clean your energy up. Invite the vulture in to clean your energy up because that's what it loves to do. It feeds the vulture. This is not a selfish thing. You're feeding the vulture with your, for a lack of a better way to describe this, feeding the vulture with the things that are killing you. Yeah, if it is bringing you disease, if it is bringing you illness of any kind, that is food for the vulture. That because those are things that are rotting and decaying. And if they're rotting and decaying, well, it's better to feed that vulture when they're fresh. So as soon as you feel it, just offer it. Offer it. Don't let it sit there decaying forever. It's going to pollute your systems and your waters need to run free. So So let's get another card. I like shuffling these. These are, hmm. Oh, okay. And then we have the card of a new day, a brand new day. So it's like as we actually, move, we're lifted off. We're just, it's a brand new day. That energy of transformation. And this happens all the time. The brand new day energy is not just in the morning, but is actually every moment. Um, you know, for us, we're not aware of how we are refreshed and renewed in every moment. But we can use this, we can actually begin to use it, that energy of we are brand new in every moment to actually begin creating something new, creating what it is you want to be seeing. And I see it's like these stair steps leading out through a door that sometimes it feels like the things that we want are in the future somewhere, like through a door and then over a mountain and like crossing, looks like, yeah, crossing all of this to get to the future. It doesn't actually, what if what if that's right here? What if that's everywhere. Like, what if it's actually happening already? And that future actually is in your present reality right now. And you just have to like see it. How can you see what it is that you are creating in your present reality so that you're not waiting for something? Because that energy of constantly waiting for something is exhausting. So how can you just step into it and be in that creative flow right now with I hope I'm making sense. Hmm. Okay, we'll get one more card. And we're just getting this message a lot between the feel all of your art and expression you have in you and create literally with a pen. So I'm feeling big time. This is a time to write it for all my writers out there, and I know I have a couple. So it's time to write. So maybe there's something that you have been uh stuck on, or it hasn't moved or shifted. There's a new frequency that you have access to actually begin that project new. Like look at this star and this like energy of motion and this star, this like burst of inspiration, creativity. There is something new inside of you. There is something new inside of you right now where you have access to more of yourself, more of your courage, more of your self expression because you are divinely protected. There is some kind of outer shield of loving energy coming from your greatest teachers that you have deeper access to. And so when you actually put that pen to paper again, I guarantee something new and beautiful will flow out of you because of this, whatever it is that is active in you now. And it's brand new, whatever this is. You have access to something. And I don't know what it is for everyone out there because it will be a little different for each and every one of us, what we have access to. But we have access to deeper wisdom right now. And that feels pretty freaking good. Yeah. After having kind of a roller coaster of a few weeks of, I don't know, just letting myself feel deeply and then not getting stuck in the feelings and allowing them to just move through me, knowing that when big feelings come up, that they're really just there to be like noticed and then set free. It's so important, this act of feeling. And perhaps I came into this lifetime feeling so deeply because I needed to learn this. And I don't know who else out there needed to hear that. But that if you feel things really, really deeply, it's because that's a great teacher for you. And it's here to actually help you be really freaking strong, helping you be really, really strong. So the things that you are sensitive to are some of your strengths, really, really deep strengths. And they show you what you're made of. Yeah, you're made of beautiful stuff. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna do something a little bit different, and then I'm gonna pull maybe a fairy card if I feel like there's time. But one little bibliomancy from this book, which I just loved. I saw it and it just resonated inward with shining brightly from inside. That when you shine your light, oh yes, this is something else. When you shine your light, just just because that you are shining this light out to everyone, but you shine it inside yourself first. So you are the first one to feel your light shining. And that right there is like, just savor that. Like that's actually something that the vulture said here. Savor that. Enjoy that feeling of your light shining. And it doesn't mean you have to do something big and epic. Maybe this thing that you're writing is not going to be a bestseller. It just needs to be a small little self-expression. And that's why I'm so inspired by this, because these are not like big epic novels. These are just small little poems. And so I'll go ahead and read. Let's see. Where should I stop? Rebirth. Rebirth. The moment people wake up to their power and start moving toward their freedom. So I'll read that one more time. This is the poet's definition of rebirth. The moment people wake up to their power and start moving toward their freedom. I love that. And it's just such a small, beautiful thing. And then this person put it into a book. And now, because of this person's courage, courage to write, her shining light, or their shining light, because I don't know who young Pueblo is, but because this person was so courageous to write these small little poems, these small little things that came from the heart. Now we all get to enjoy that, and it inspires us to keep going, and it inspires us with their courage. And because of them, we are courageous too. So every single one of us is here on this planet, in my opinion, to be a great teacher of some kind. And it all depends on what you are a master of. And I think that's another thing, is that all of us are masters at something. Every single one of us here, once you grow and you evolve, you are a master of something, whether it be a master of unlimited potential or academic pursuits or poetry and art, or perhaps you're a master of limitation and suffering. You are a master. So, yeah. So this beautiful little book, I much appreciate that person's courage. And so now a little blip from the fairies, because I just love hanging out with you guys and want to do this some more. Oh, wow. All right. So we got the sorcerer and the crone. I'm just gonna read that and not dive too terribly deep, because I feel like we've gone a while with this reading. Hmm. Oh, wow. Okay. I'm going to be a crone for a little bit. Look again, wise woman, direction. The crone, isn't she scary? Or is she? She is the wicked witch from the fairy tales, the one who eats the children and curses the princesses. Is she a monster? Sometimes. But now look at the rest of the picture. A pearl of wisdom is easy to spot, but turn the card upside down, and what do you see? A sweet, smiling face. The same face? So, what is she? She is a wise woman, a healer, a teacher. When you meet her in Faerie, be aware of those two faces. Hmm. And look beyond her frightening aspect. Listen to what she has to tell you. She knows about life. She knows about love. She knows how treacherous they both can be. And she also knows how to put you back on the right path when you are wandering, lost in the dark forest. She is part of that darkness, but she is also a beacon of light when you need one. All you have to do is be brave enough to greet her politely. Help her if she asks you for help. You know this part. It's in all the fairy tales. If an old woman comes out of the forest and asks for help, help her. Who knows what'll happen if you don't? So if you are careful and you show enough respect, she may give you her pearl of wisdom. And if not, she might just turn you into a toad. I love the fairies. They're great. And so I also feel like that crone, that old future part of you that already knows the way. She's already gone through the love and the treachery, and she's gone through the forests and she's picked up the pearls of wisdom along the way. She already knows. Ask that crone. Sit with that crone. Have a cup of tea with that crone. Light a candle for that crone. Do some witchy stuff with that crone because she loves witchy stuff. And then the sorcerer, wow. So this is not just any crone. This is the sorceress crone. That's mega. We have some mega cool fun stuff. And that's this the card right after this. Interesting. 26, 27. Okay. Interesting help. True magic and consequences. Look at this person. Are you surprised? He's such a dull little man, funny hat, funny nose, big ears, not paying the slightest bit of attention to you, you would think. But look again. There he is, nestled in the tree roots, listening, thinking, just about to move. And when he does, you might want to duck. Sometimes the most powerful beings appear to be the most insignificant. The sorcerer is one of those beings. He doesn't really create flashy illusions. He doesn't astound with feats of magic. But if you need to call on powerful being as you travel into the fairy, he is the one to seek out. Approach him with caution. He is not really concerned with everyday struggles and endeavors of the fairy, let alone the human world. He works for his own ends, but he may help you if it suits his purpose. Think carefully before you ask him for anything. His help could have interesting consequences in the future. If you could meet him, it may be best to nod respectfully and pass on. On the other hand, when he turns up, you may know exactly what you need to ask for. If you have an intuitive flash about why the two of you have come together, then by all means ask your question and see what happens, as long as you are prepared for the consequences. So that's an interesting interpretation of the sorcerer. I'm feeling this right here is tapping into your ancient wisdom. The crone, the sorcerer, tapping into your most ancient magical self. Because, oh my goodness, if you are here, you have an ancient magical self. Of course you do. You are probably a wizard or I don't know, alchemist. You knew your stuff. So you just have to pull that pearl back from beyond the veil. Ask the crone, pull that, pull that wisdom back to you. I'm excited to see what kind of magic you guys do. Okay. And then write about it. Write about it in some way. I mean, this create is share it, make it, turn it into something physical. So, all right, that I think is it for now. That is our reading for today. So we will thank all the teachers. We'll thank the beautiful, wise old crone. Thank the sorcerer. Yeah. All right. Um, yeah. So, my friends, I hope that everybody is well out there, and I hope that you guys can, I don't know, comment down below. I always love to see your comments, and you can do that thing where you share my work with others and help this little channel to grow and so that, I don't know, no agenda really on my part. It's just nice to gather people to hang out with and um connect all like this whole like flower of life, the every single node, every single section where they connect are places where people people intersect. So yeah, it'd be great to connect with more and more and more of you. And I have no idea. See where this leads. 'Cause I'm on this journey with all of you as well. So until next time when we do this again. All right. Bye.